congratulations to you. And we have an incredible session that we are now introducing. This is the Fireside Chat. And for this, may I please firstly invite Dr. Ravindra Udgikar, Chief Sales Officer, Willow Group. May I please request him to join us? Ladies and gentlemen, come on, put your hands together as he joins us on stage. Thank you. Please take a seat. This chat is on tooling for precision and performance evolving needs in the electrical manufacturing industry. This Fireside Chat, ladies and gentlemen, is with Mr. Dominic Savio, GM Legrand. May I please request you to put your hands up and make some noise as we have him joining us right here. We're thrilled to have him join us for this interesting Fireside Chat that is obviously going to give us a lot of information and some deep dive into tooling for precision and performance evolving needs in the electrical manufacturing industry. May I request Mr. Dominic Savio to join us on stage? Is he around here? May I just see if he's here? Well, nature's call can happen anytime. So we're just going to wait for a few seconds. We already have Dr. Udgikar here. How are you doing, sir? Good evening.
Good evening. I'm doing fine. Thank you. And you?
Sir, good. I'm wondering, are you going to take questions during your chat?
Depending on the time, if
Yes.
you allow.
I think that was the correct answer. But yes.
Where is the prize?
The prize, yes. Oh, while we're talking about the prize, let me tell you that anybody wants to win 5 iPads, not like all together, but 1 each. Anybody? You can raise your hand. Oh, we have sir right here. Hello, Mr. Savio. Thank you so much for joining us here. May I request you to please put your hands together for Mr. Savio? And hold on to the thought about the 5 iPads. Just keep it brimming right there. I'm going to tell you all about it soon. But as of now, let me hand over this chat to the expertise of these 2 gentlemen. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening. I see very thin attendance compared to the time we started. I think they just jumped the tea break. But never mind, I would think that the ones who are interested are here, and that's what really matters. But at the outset, I want to thank TAGMA for organizing this wonderful international summit. Couldn't be better timed, I guess. I mean, very rich in agenda, diverse perspectives, good technology, displays, lots of delegates all across different industries. I think in the context of what's happening today, this conference will go a long way in kind of facilitating the competitiveness of Indian industry. And I say this because we read in newspaper every day the kind of havoc that this whole tariff war has caused, and the only long-term solution that is surfacing is to enhance the competitiveness of the manufacturing sector. Talking of manufacturing sector today, it contributes only 17% to India's GDP. Compare that with 29% of China's GDP. And the numbers are staggering anyway, China GDP and India GDP. But the good news is that India has a vision to take this contribution of manufacturing sector to 25% by the centenary year. And to be able to do that, they have been putting several programs on the fast track, whether it is Make in India, performance-linked incentive, national manufacturing mission, and whatnot. And when it comes to manufacturing sector, the tool industry is the bedrock. So I think the kind of ideas getting discussed here will go a long way in trying to, one, internalize the capabilities of the industry and to build and facilitate self-reliance and to become more competitive, because we are now going to compete against countries which are low tariff countries compared to India. So we have to really do well in terms of our quality, in terms of our volumes, in terms of our performance, in terms of our life cycle management. Earlier in the session, we have had some fireside chat taking a deep dive into the automobile industry. And here we are trying to take a deep dive about the tooling's important role in the electrical industry. Gentlemen, electrical industry today contributes about 1.5% to India's GDP. our installed capacity in gigawatts is something like 467 gigawatts. By the turn of decade, India wants to, scale up its renewable capacity to 500 gigawatts, which is right now around 250 gigawatts. And overall capacity will jump to about 600 gigawatts. So there is a big transformation happening in the electrical industry, whether it is generation, transmission, distribution. With the kind of rising GDP, I mean, as we all know, India is the only bright spot in the G20 and perhaps one of the fastest growing major economies. We are going to see a huge demand for electrical market. And this growth is coming not only from residential side, commercial side, industrial side, but also data centers and whatnot. And here we have Dominic trying to take us through what's happening in the electrical industry and what important role tooling industry has got to do with it. So some opening remarks, Dominic.
Okay, so most of you, I think, you know me, and we have good number of suppliers are there with me. I should not call them as suppliers; they are my business partners.
Yes, that's right.
So just to tell about Legrand, so when we just to show the growth of in the electrical industry, Legrand came to India in 1996. They took over MDS Switchgear Limited. There is 2 factories there were in India. So that time after took over in 2000, that time it was only MCB, and 2000 we are entering into wiring devices. And I was responsible for developing the molds in India, and we started with 10 molds. Today, when you look back after 25 years, we make 300 molds average in a year.
Yeah.
So in 25 years, we developed 1,800 molds in India. So that is the way, in the 2000, it was 10 numbers. 2004, it is suddenly got 20 numbers. 5. Then now, last year, we made 200 numbers. And this year, 2026, our plan is to go for 300 numbers. The reason for this is we are shifting lot of production from China to India. That's the reason.
That's facilitating Make in India program. So are these all molds or tools in-house or are they outsourced?
So we don't have in-house tool room. We make all the molds from which is outsourced. But just we think about why we thought of Make in India. Because, we have the demands and we want to make it. Now, we may think about going for in-house tool room, which I don't want to do it. Because now what we are seeing is the Indian tool makers not able to cater to our requirement. The reason is not their problem. It is not because of they are not doing well. The problem is that what a lot of people have already spoken in the morning, it is the skill set problem. So we have some A-class suppliers, B-class suppliers, those who make the, depends on the complicated molds. I have made the mold which we are turning today, even after 20 million shots. But same tool maker, last year he made the mold, not even run for 2 lakh shots. Same mold maker, same company, they could not do it. What is the reason? So now I have the pressure from the management to start a tool room, but which I don't want to do it.
And this is exactly what my next question was. With a kind of rapid urbanization, with a kind of lifestyle growth that we are seeing, that purchase power parity of about 300 million people is which is population of USA and perhaps Europe, we are seeing increasing demand from the market. So there is a clear shift to high volume precision products. How are you coping with this demand in terms of first tooling requirement and in terms of the volumes and quantities?
For when we talk about electric industry, we play with the high volume.
Right.
And when we say about consumer products or say automobile industry, the tool room play with the low volume. So the expectation for the high volume, when you just compare, let us talk about the cricket. Just we'll go into the cricket. It's like a test match. So what do you do in the test match? So can anybody say, what do you expect from the test match?
Long-term play.
Exactly. You had to be long-term in the ground. And huge run with minimum wicket loss. if possible without loss of any wicket. So electrical industry, electrical molds, what we expect? For me, the wicket is breakdowns. Without breakdowns, as much as volume to be produced. But it does not mean that automobile or consumer products are not important. Automobile molds, maybe with, I just compared like again with the cricket, it is with T20. Because automobile, the low volume, but they want it very fast because the market is short market, short life market. So within minimum period with high performance, they have to deliver the products. So I always compare with that. It's the tool mold should perform what we want in test match. It should be
Perfect. So you
consistent.
should be able to sweat assets more.
And we need Rahul Dravids.
Yeah. So, earlier in the day, we've had some sessions, mainly from the industry side. We also had some session on the automobile thing, which is automobile and aviation are always considered a bellwether industries, right? Whatever they do, we follow. So please help us understand how the entire functioning of tool making, precision, quality, scale up for electrical industry any different from a traditional mechanical industry and tooling requirement?
You know, it's not difficult. It's like now this year NEET test. You know, all students were saying that this year NEET test was very tough because the question was very tough.
Little bit. Yeah.
So when we say what electrical industry is expecting, you know, the speed.
Yeah.
We want the speed.
Yeah.
So in 2000s, when we done the, you know, anybody can answer me because you are asking me a question. I will like to ask a question to the audience. Anybody can answer me. What was the average speed of a 2 to 4 cavity mold in 2000s? 2000, 2001, 2002. Two months, but it is too fast for me. You know, I made the mold from the so reputed company. It was 8 months to proving from purchase order to commissioning. That was speed. But today we ask for 2 weeks, 4 weeks, which is not possible. Sometimes it is possible, sometimes not possible. It depends on the complications. But if tool makers thinks differently, it can be made. What was the, who made, again, let us go back to the cricket. You know Sunil Gavaskar, Gundappa Vishwanath. So they all used to play one-day cricket. Who made the difference in one-day cricket approach? All were enjoying when Sunil Gavaskar time, everybody was enjoying the cricket, one-day cricket, when it was changed from test to one-day. Who changed the speed? It is correct answer, it is Srikanth. Srikanth has changed the speed. And it was a follower. And you know, Gavaskar had a dream. Before he get retired, he had a dream. He wanted to score in a one-day 50 runs before the Srikanth. So I'm just, again, you can just compare with that. If mold maker, that should be the dream. You should follow Srikanth. There are people who make the China. You compare Srikanth is China. I wanted to make the 50 before China makes it. What happened to Sunil Gavaskar? He made 48. Srikanth was at 35. But what happened last? Srikanth made 50 before Gavaskar scores 50. That should be the speed, that should be the attitude in the mold making. You yourself have to change the trend. Don't depend on the old style of mold making. You have to you have to come out from your out-of-box thinking. You have to come out from that. You have to make new trends.
Understand. So, if one looks at the electrical industry and its evolution, clearly miniaturization is the trend that we have seen. Compact, lower footprints. Safety considerations are evolving. Precision is coming in. Multi-functionalities are built into the system. All this means lots of challenges for tool making. How do you cope up with those challenges?
When it comes to, again, just, my experience in the electrical industry, when it comes to electrical industry, when we say miniaturization, for me, the product designer giving a demand which is not possible today. For me, I say always, no, it's not possible, we cannot do it. But that is expectation of the product designer. It is not the mistake, or it is not he's writing that decision, but the decision is given by the market. So they need the change. They want the change. So designers asking on that. So I can tell an example, in the production, I am very familiar with the switch. In switch, you have a rocker which moves. So there is a clip inside. And our rocker switch clip should be in within 0, 0 on both the sides. And it should not even a single radius change on the component. And our rejection rate was 5 to 8%. 5 to 8% was the rejection. So the next year, the quality department asked us you have to bring it down to 3%. We are done polishing, we are done replacing the angle lifter, we bring it down to 3%. Then next time they asked for 0%. Which is, I told it is impossible. You cannot do a production with 0%. It's impossible. No, Dominic, that's the target. So what I done, I went again to the same team. Same Indian mold maker. I didn't go to China. I put this decision, I don't want to name the people who has helped us. Those are sitting there. I am on one side, standard component supplier on one side, mold maker on one side. We went into the standard multi-stage ejection in respect of throwing away all the concept latches. And it was roughly 1.5 lakhs extra investment, got the approval from management, giving an assurance. Assurance not given by me. It is given by the same mold makers. And we introduced it today. Last 1 year, we are running with 0% rejection of that component and decided to implement in all the molds we decided. And day before yesterday, I changed my equipment scope of supply. Those who are already approved my mold maker, they can see in my scope of supply. I changed the clause 5.9 saying that from future molds, this is the mechanism to be used because the component is proved. This is not done by Europe. This is not done by China. This is done by Indian mold makers.
That's brilliant.
That is the capability.
Fantastic. I think through the course of discussions, you gave a cricketing analogy that in test match, you need to play for long term. Like one day, you need a speed and essence. And you also mentioned that you don't have in-house tooling room. So obviously, to scale up, you are depending on your partners. And my therefore next logical question is, what are the qualities that you look for in a partner for the tooling requirements? If I want to be a tooling partner, how shall I go about it? How long is the process? What kind of steps are involved?
For being a partner of, say, in electric industry and especially with Legrand, so we have stringent, and those are approved already, they know that we have very stringent norms of approval of mold maker. It's normally take 1.5 year time to approve. So we have around 100 and 180 points of expectation, that is the scope of supply. And we give the scope of supply, first we sign the NDA, then we give the scope of supply, whether you can meet that. And later, just fighting each other, there's no issue. Once that, then we give a trial order. 1 or 2 molds trial order. And that to understand, wavelength of the mold maker. Once that is success, then orders flows inside. And again, our expectations are, doesn't work like consumer products, because there is a complaint from everybody. We don't give our feedback after getting the T1 sample before 3 months. Because we do the inspection, then we have to pass all the laboratory test. Then only we give the feedback. So we be prepared for, for when you're making for electrical components, be prepared for that, that is a lead time will take. But when we go to the repeated tooling, we lift the mold as fast as possible because it is just copy paste. So our expectation, every time we come with the new technologies, they have to cope up with that, and quality, the T1 sample should be 98% okay.
How about exclusivity, protecting your intellectual property and designs? How do you address some of those concerns? Do they work with your competitors as an example?
Yes, they work with, most of them, our suppliers are working with the competitors. So we have an NDA signed, and we have some stringent, our samples should not be kept on the table or anywhere else displayed till we launch and give in writing saying that now you can display the components. And at the end, what I can say, I visited China. What is the difference between India and China? We can trust Indian mold makers. We can clearly trust on them. If we tell them, we don't show, they will not show.
Fantastic.
But I have my personal experience. I worked in Chinese tool room. 2 years I worked in under Chinese. So I know very clearly what they do. They will tell everything directly to you. Okay, but the moment you step out from the tool room, they will take that component. They will show that okay, we will make two molds. One is for you, and one is for them. This is what I heard from the people also. So we can, I touch by my heart, I say that we can trust Indian mold makers. Even before, after launching, mold makers used to call me and say that, Dominic, can we display our components on the table to show to our capability? And when we say yes, then only. We came into big one, typical, I cannot name that what technology we have done. It is already in the market for the last 8 years. But with that particular mold maker, we had an agreement, please don't make this mold for electrical industry for any other competitor because it is our intellectual property. Till today, they have not done that. So that is, irrespective, they got a very big business offer, they are not done that. That is a trust.
That's the trust. And I think that's very nice to know. Just changing gears, tell me, today the advancements in the digital technology are leaving no industry untouched, right? Everybody is trying to ride on the AI ML wave. There are technologies like digital twinning, computer simulations. There are technologies like quantum computing and whatnot ushering. How do tooling industry in the context of electrical industry in specific are harnessing these digital technologies to improve efficiencies, to be more precision, to bring in more precision, to make it more, let's say, long lasting, to cut down the production or the product development or tooling cycles? How are you actually seeing the harnessing of digital technologies into the whole tooling industry?
See, first what I can say, I may not be able to answer this question which I can get 100% mark. Not possible.
That's fine.
But, first what we have to do in the mold making, we are yet to reach to a level. We are not at reached to a level where China is making or Korea is making. We are not at reached to that level. But what I see today, a lot of people are artificial intelligence is, it is too far for tooling industry, what I feel. But today what I see from the different tool makers in India, they already moved towards digitalization. What I can say, earlier it was on the blueprint, drawing board, everything is gone. Now if very few tool rooms are using I can see the drawing sheets on the table. Now most of them are on the screen. Even operators, bench fitters are ready to, are trained to use or read on the engineering drawing on the screen. They're there. Now what we are doing in Legrand, so far what we are going on the digitalization, we have removed all mold history cards which we used to manually fill it. It's everything digitalized, even with the suppliers. So you can see we have 1,800 molds in production. So it's very difficult to manage by manual this thing. It isn't digitalized. All your history card, number of shots, preventive maintenance. When the mold to be replaced, everything you will get on your screen. Even you can get it on your mobile. Next step, what we are going for inspection line inspection on the injection molding machine. There is no inspector required. So in 2 machines we are introduced. It will be expensive, but that is the way we are going on. Up to that level only we are reached for digitalization. And otherwise we are not going to that beyond that step.
So typically, digitization, which is conversion of analog data into digital, is followed by digitalization, which is harnessing the advancements in the form of Industry 4.0, and then you go to digital transformation. It's a step-by-step process. But clearly you are seeing that the tool industry, especially in the electrical domain, is on that trajectory of achieving the digital transformation.
Yes, we can see the digital transformation. So what we have to do, what I feel that today morning somebody was saying that people are, you don't get the skill. People all are focusing on design. So this may be the right time. Designers, let them focus more time on design. So you have to see that without intervention of the human being tool makers, how your machining and the fitting can be done. That should be the dream of the future. Otherwise, you will be finished.
So quickly on that, touching on that topic before I go to the last question. There is a strong traction for the new talent to do the jobs in the AI, in the IT, in the computer science, software domain. And this is typically very core engineering. So, do you find that there is a dearth of talent, or there is a high quality talent is not coming to the tooling industry?
So this is the subject, I think, from morning to till now, everybody heard of this. This is one point where we don't have the talent. We always speak, last TACMA also, this discussion was there, we don't have the talent. So what is to be done? So there's no solution so far done. But what I see is that why youngsters are moving towards IT? Because they look for a better life. Work pressure, they feel that, in Hindi में बोला तो tool room में आने का time fix है, जाने का time fix नहीं है. So कभी भी, so they don't have work balance. So they look for the work balance. So today also what we can see? Why, just a question, why thin numbers in the auditorium? Because from the morning to evening they are listening only to the problems. They are not getting a concrete solutions. And also they are listening tooling. कल भी कंपनी में टूलिंग का प्रॉब्लम था, आज भी कंपनी का प्रॉब्लम टूलिंग का प्रॉब्लम था. So you have to see that how this method of this session, how it can be made energetic. I'm just so from my thinking, why don't you put some cultural programs in between? After one session, why don't you a small break with the culture? Because they keep on listening to this. You have good talented people. I don't say that you call some professionals. No, not required. Good talented people are there. Take one or two examples. Let them do it. Go ahead. Same thing you should do in the tool rooms. I have seen in China tool room, there is a break, tea break is there. I went to a professional tool room, the tea break is there. 10 minutes they have to play. So, 10 minutes. So that culture to be brought in there, you have to release the pressure, because people are, you see, I wanted to put my son into tool making. I took him to two of my friends' tool room and everything. I told that, Papa, every day you are getting a phone call, ye tod gaye, yo food gaye, so I don't want this life at all. So he already felt that this life is very difficult. I wanted, see, I was very passionate about mold making. So my son is also not very, talented and everything. So I wanted to show, I took him to my friends' tool rooms. I showed him this one. And every day he listened to my team's meeting and everything. He told, no, Papa, this is too much complicated life. I don't want to be in mold making. Now he is going for sound engineering. So, but that means we have to somewhere else make it easy work. Should not put the pressure on the people. And this already people are saying that, too much pressure, we cannot take the pressure. People don't want to work under pressure. They want to enjoy the life. So to bring some culture in tool room, okay, you have the hours, but in between that you have to ensure that their life, work balance will be there in the life.
So Nishant and Tigma organizers, one of the problem statements we all as a fraternity need to address is how do we make tooling industry
Just
attractive?
After that, what are people, what they're complaining, we never get a leave to go home. If they cannot spend 10 days in a year with family, why, for what they're living?
Right. So I was just saying that the problem statement we need to have is just how do we make our industry more attractive to the new talent? What kind of pedagogy changes we need to do? How do we need to reposition ourselves? How do we show a roadmap and a career progression to the incoming talent in the industry? How do we see that the digital advancement are also touching tooling industry? There could possibly a brainstorming session, because as they say in the Europe already the last generation is phasing out, and that there is a talent dearth. I mean, the average median age is also rising. So I think if we have to walk that path, we better make some changes. I just see that she's
I wanted to give a last message to TACMA. Just it's a suggestion, because I might not get a chance to tell that. The reason for people are not the thinning auditorium, or you can see a lot of more people are outside. If you go outside now also, you can see the public is outside. But actually they are not typecasting. I listen to them what they are discussing. They are discussing about the business only. They are looking for network. So here what happens, we have Fireside chat. We are sitting, already Indian tool rooms on fire. So we are sitting on the side and we are chatting it. That is true. But what I need, or my proposal is to convert this into networking. So what we have to do, it's not so easy. What you have to do, put a note to all the members, form a group from the OEM, from the tool makers, from the chant suppliers, form a committee, and you let them join the group, have a workshop, and prepare vision, mission for TACMA. And when you are going to complete which activity, there will, I assure that public will be there inside the hall. They look for the solutions. Thank you.
I think that's very passionate closing, because that was also my last question. I wanted to tick the box that what would your expectations of this
I thought that
industry,
the question
and I
was
think-
so I jumped into the answer.
So you actually read my mind, and she's a little bit getting anxious, and we won't get any prizes. But thank you for your patience, and I don't think we have time for question answer. But over to you.
Thank you, thank you. Just trying to keep the program on schedule because it's not only our time, but we have so many delegates that are here.
Because we are tool makers, we always delay the projects.
But thank you so much for being here. We're so glad that you've taken time out. May I please request Mr. Udgikar to hand over a token of appreciation to Mr. Savio. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in thanking him for his time and for all the wonderful inputs that he has shared with us here this evening. May I request Mr. Sherigar to join us on stage to hand over a token of appreciation to our moderator. May I request all three of you to come together for a group picture? Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.